Whether you're married or single or poly or ace, or hanging out with swingers back at your place, listen to us as we give no fuck on Tinder and Bumble and plenty of yucks, trying and having no luck, because we all know dating kinda sucks. Sarah and Adam are two of a kind. He says stupid shit and she doesn't mind. They're not doing this show to make any buck. Life as a chicken whose feathers he plucks. Why does it work? Well, here is the crux. They both know dating kinda sucks. Dating kinda sucks.
Hi, I'm Adam Heath Avitable.
And I'm Sarah.
This is Dating Kinda Sucks, a podcast about dating, sex, and relationships. This week, we'll be talking about sexual mindfulness. Enjoy the show.
Well, there was a lizard that
Well, also, before we even get into that, if you're watching us on YouTube, you can
Oh,
also...
damn it, you didn't put that in the
I know, I forgot to
fucking
put it in the
show
agenda.
notes, you
I did. It's my
bitch.
fault.
You bitch.
I know, it's my fault. Why don't you go ahead and do that part?
All right. Hey, this is sad. This is just sad. If you guys are watching on YouTube right now, feel free to subscribe to our channel and like this video so you get notifications and you don't miss a single episode. Yay.
Yay!
Adam, what the fuck? Why have I had such a shit afternoon? Why?
Oh, I am very disappointed. I'm very disappointed because I was not able to record the drama with the lizard because it was hilarious. I've never seen you like this. And
it's funny because Master of None knows if it moves, she's not a fan of it. But I don't think you've ever witnessed
I
that.
did not know this. This was something I did not know about you. So Sarah, yeah, she FaceTimes me as we're getting ready to start recording this episode and is freaking out because there's a baby lizard. I mean, Sarah grew up in fucking Florida where baby lizards are everywhere.
It doesn't
Like lizards are, you can't even walk outside without seeing lizards all over the place doing their little humping thing. Like it's just what they do. And you were terrified, like literally terrified. I've never heard you squeal like that before, by the way. Like, I actually we were FaceTiming, so I set my screen recorder and recorded the entire thing because I was like, this is going to make a great TikTok. And it didn't record any of the audio. Apparently, when you screen record FaceTime videos, it just does the video. So, very disappointed because that was insanely hysterical. Watching you break down over a lizard was amazing.
So I grabbed a box that was sitting in the corner and I was going to use that to prop
What's in the box?
A dick. No, a lizard.
That's a Seven reference, not a dick reference.
I thought it's my dick.
The movie Seven with like Brad Pitt and his wife's head is in the box and all that.
You think I've seen that movie?
What's in the box? No. What's in the box? I don't know how you've never seen Seven.
Because I'm not old. Anyways.
Oh.
I'm not old. But went to grab the box and a lizard just appeared and it was fucking brown, so it blended in with the box and I didn't see it. And then I had to FaceTime Adam and go, delay until I find the lizard. And then it crawled up on my fucking recording shit and on the table and I couldn't find it. And then I almost sat down, but it was there. And yeah, so now it's somewhere under a chair and I'm just going to stay the fuck away from that chair.
We did miss out on a really fantastic opportunity for her to be sitting at this desk right now at this table working and then have it because it was on the edge of the table and then have her just drop into her lap mid-recording. We missed that opportunity and I am disappointed in that.
I'm not, but anyways, just thought I should bring that up and the fact that there's probably going to be some noise where I'm at. So sorry in advance for cars.
And same here. I mean, I'm in Memphis right now and I'm in my friend's house and it's not necessarily the quietest place. And she and her children are giving me some space to record quietly, but who knows how long that'll last. And there's a dog around. So, the
usual.
Yes, the usual. we have to make do with what we can.
I have my own apartment, which I should have in the next, actually, I don't know, not by the next episode, but 2 after that, I'll probably start building out an actual recording studio without blankets in a closet. That Master of None and I will.
Yeah, like it'll be like an official just free recording.
No, it'll have clothes in it too, but it's a closet that I need my clothes to be in as well.
Oh, okay.
But I'm saying I'm going to have that once Master None and I.
Are you gonna buy like a little desk to put in there so like it's just to like
so that soundproof the shit out of it? I'm super over just.
Well, clothes do a good job too. If you have clothes already in the closet, then that'll help too. That'll help keep it nice and quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now you just need some type of silent air conditioner, like little thing to make sure your room stays cold, so the closet stays cool, so you're not like sweating your ass off when you record.
Too late.
So yes, and I will still have shit audio regardless of wherever we go because I'm not going to have a studio of my own for quite some time. So yeah, I'm in Memphis. Today is
I was
September
trying to
8th.
segue into the fact that Master Vanetta and I are moving in, and you just went on that tangent, and I didn't
Oh.
expect to go there. So then I was like, well, I'll just let Adam keep doing his
Oh
fucking
no,
thing.
let's segue to that. No,
I don't think it matters what day it is.
Stop talking. I was like waiting for you to keep talking. You
Well,
just
I
kind of
was, like,
drifted off,
waiting
like
for you
staring
to
out. I don't think you were like looking for the lizard or whatever, but I'm just watching your eyes wander. So I was like, I guess it's my turn to keep talking.
No, I wasn't. No, I was rolling my eyes at you. But
All right. So yes, you and Master Adam. We talked about this last episode that you were moving in together.
yeah, but was it official at that point? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure
We
it was.
just signed the lease. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. So yes, you and Master Adam are moving in together.
We should just scrap this episode. This is going so well. Let me tell you.
No. Like, let's talk about it. That's the big step. I mean, you guys are moving in together, starting.
It's the big step that I'm afraid of, I guess. That I guess I'm not that excited about anymore because he came to Little Rock this past weekend and we kind of got into a little. It wasn't a fight, but it was a moment of me feeling kind of shitty that I haven't been more excited for moving in with him because I've just been seeing it as a step. Like you said, it's the next step. It's the next logical step, right?
Right.
So I haven't been like, "Oh my god, we're moving in together. Oh my god, whatever." It's more of, yeah, and then on this date we're moving in and then blah blah blah.
Right.
It's
Because
just
you like planning things, and then once it's planned, you're like, okay, like it's done.
next.
Like in your
Yeah.
mind, when something is planned, it's already kind of done. You kind of already get there, I think. And so you like your excitement is when you plan something, and now that you've achieved the planning of signing the lease, then
Right.
what's left? Like once you get there, you'll be excited because you're like, now I get to decorate, and you get to do things that you want to do. Although your decorating is weird because you don't like to decorate much, but you know what I mean. Like you'll
I
get to
don't
do
think
some things.
Well, and that's the other part of it is it's not going to be a headache, but it's going to be one of those learning moments in a relationship of whose shit do we keep in what room. And I
Right.
still am very my space is my space type of thing where at least I'll have my own bedroom, but I still want to decorate the rest of the fucking apartment and I'm not compromising for me is challenging where I just want what I want and if I like this piece of furniture or this look or whatever, that's what it should be. But now I actually like it doesn't I know it's my space with him, but it's not going to be the same as what I had prior to leaving Nashville
Right.
earlier this summer. And that
Right.
I'm not even really thinking about that right now because that part doesn't excite me. I'm not excited to be like, oh, well, he hates this, 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 and this of mine. So now we have to buy new shit. And it won't, I don't know, it'll be ours, but I'm having a hard time thinking this is mine. Like I'm been so this is my plan, this is my space, this is my whatever, and now it's our thing. And I just it's a new hurdle that I've never had to face. I've never lived with a partner, so I'm not why would I be excited? I don't know. That sounds shitty, but I'm
No,
not
I
excited.
understand. Like, I remember, and then this is when I was getting married. I planned half of our wedding art myself, and Amy planned some of it too. And I remember people kept asking, "Are you excited to get married?" And I'm just like, no, like not because I don't want to or like I'm not looking forward to it. It's just like I am. Like we have things to do. I have things like shit to worry about. Once and like I don't know what those things are all up in the air. It's all these threads that we have to worry about, all lining up. I'll be excited once it's done with, and I can like then I know how it's gonna go. But like I have too much to worry about to be excited.
Yeah.
And some people are like that, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I just feel bad because I've been planning, okay, cool, we're moving next. Okay. And it's still Nashville, It's a new experience living in Nashville with him.
Right.
But it's still Nashville, and there's a reason why I've been on the road since June and I haven't been really back in Nashville. Is I've been there, I've done that. I want to keep experiencing new things. That's why I'm not fucking in Tennessee at this exact moment.
Right.
But
Right.
I don't know. It's just I'm not that excited to go back to Nashville either. It's not that I'm not excited to live with him. It's that I'm not. It's like okay, cool, Nashville apartment done, secured.
Yeah.
Yay. You know, I've been thinking, okay, other cities or whatever in the future and been more excited about that. And he's like, but that's not the plan for now. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm a what did you say I was? A adventure, not an adventure gatherer,
I said that you collected experiences.
yes, I'm a experience collector.
Yeah.
And that's so true. When you said that, that's so true of, okay, I got this, I got that. Like I've traveled here, I've been here, next. Like I don't collect material possessions like that. But I don't think he's ever seen me respond in those ways before. So I think I think he got hurt feelings when I just kept focusing on, okay, but then after that we can move here. And then, you know, this is pretty much a done deal from there. He's like, well, what the fuck? What about in the next month when we live in Nashville? You know, that's for sure. And I'm like, yeah, but that the thing a year from now could still be for sure too, you know? And I don't know. And I had this moment of like, does future me even want this? Like I just went down this really bad rabbit hole earlier today and yesterday of what does future me want? Does future me want to stay in Nashville? Like, what the fuck am I doing right now? A year ago I'm doing exactly what I wanted to do and now I'm going back. What the fuck? And I know I want to be with him and I know I want to live with him, but what the fuck am I doing? And I don't know until I'm actually in the scenario where we're actually in the same fucking apartment living together. I'm just visualizing certain things going, is this going to excite me? Haven't I already done this just by myself? I don't know. I want to collect another experience and collect all my tokens along the way in life. I don't know. But I've just been in my head about it. And yeah, I should be more excited, but until moving day, until all of the shit's in, then maybe I'll be excited. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean it really is because it's you know moving with someone is a step, but it's not necessarily. I understand that not getting excited about it. I understand it's a step and it's a logical step and it makes sense in this stage in your relationship and it should be something that you're looking forward to living with him, but you're not like it's not like you know like not something you're like gung ho about
it's
because
not like a, oh my god, this is the best day of my life, we're moving in together. I think maybe single me envisioned my reaction to be different, where it's like, oh my god, it's happening, I'm moving in with him. And I think when we first had the conversation about it, I was like that. But now that the apartment's picked out, everything, now it's just logistics, you know. The sex drive part of my brain of being excited for that or whatever, I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever, it's fine. Yeah.
Now it's all just about executing it basically.
Yeah.
And making it happen. And you know, I think like it's still like I feel like he's not going to care about you decorating the place in your own way, like other than his room can be his place, you know, and then I mean, you're going to compromise maybe a little bit. I don't know if you guys will get a TV, for example, you know, like
we'll get a TV. Shut the fuck up. We'll get a
or like
TV.
or like
he
a
has
couch
a
that's
TV.
comfortable. You know, like maybe not in less Instagrammable and more comfortable. Like I feel like those might be small compromises that you'll have to make.
Those will probably happen, but not immediate. The couch isn't going to be an immediate thing. You know what I mean? And we've already talked.
The kitchen, we know, like he's pretty much that's going to be kind of his domain because he actually likes to cook.
I don't give a fuck about that. Actually, we got into a little I wouldn't say argument again, a little tiff when he was here, and there was a fucking roach, of course, lizards and fucking roaches. There was a roach, and he said, well, you know, you did leave this and this and this in the sink overnight. And I was like, well, bro, I was stoned. I wasn't going to clean that. And two, it's a fucking knife and a cutting board. It's really not that dirty or whatever. That's not going to attract a roach or whatever. No. But he was like, yeah, but you could keep the kitchen a little cleaner. And it kind of pissed me off because I was like, it's not like I'm dirty and having, and he knows having roaches doesn't mean you're dirty. I mean, I've lived through that literally a fucking year ago. But I told him, I was like, look, no one's fucking marrying me for my ability to clean a kitchen or cook in a kitchen. So that's not new news. And if that's new news to you and that bothers you, then we can discuss it. And he's like, I know. But I'm like, look, I will try to do a better job cleaning. But if I'm fucking tired, I don't give a shit about 2 or 3 dishes in the fucking sink overnight when I'll just get to it in the morning. But he operates differently where it has to be clean. I'm like, I already see us having a fight about this. You know, like I'm already picturing future fights about shit in the kitchen and I'm not looking forward to that whatsoever.
Yeah, and 2 dishes in a kitchen overnight do not attract roaches. Like those roaches are there for another reason. Like they're already there, you know. Like that's not gonna. Yeah, well, that'll be the growing pains of living together. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, and I know, but I've never, except for one semester in college, I've never lived with a roommate.
Right.
And I'm not saying he's a roommate, but I've never lived in this, you know what I mean?
For some intents and purposes, he is a roommate in that sense, like just the figuring out the chores and the things that need to be done around the house. And
I think the stakes are higher though, because I love him and I want to continue a relationship with him. I can't
Right.
just not take out the trash. Like, I'm going to be thinking about him and how he feels about certain things versus the roommate I have in college. If a couple things were on the floor or some things were out of order, it wasn't a big deal to either of us,
Yeah.
and we're cool with it, and that's how we lived. But I think I'm going to be, maybe at the start, I don't know, more aware of how he feels in his space, because it is his space too. I don't know. Like I said, I won't know until I'm in it, but I'm trying to picture what future Sarah is doing and how she feels about stuff. And it's making me spiral into, well, what the fuck am I doing in this situation in the first place? How did I get here?
Yeah. This will be interesting. It'll be
It's
we'll see
scary.
what it's not scary.
It
It'll be
scares me because I just worry about everything going wrong. And then
and
that makes me just not want to do it. Like, I
we
know
talked
what.
about that, like what's the absolute we look at the absolute worst case scenario. Like the absolute worst case scenario is that you guys like can't live together. Like you just realize that your relationship is flawed and this is the worst case scenario obviously, and it's
Right.
over. Like it just that's the last of the whatever, that's the first and final nail in the coffin. Even though things have been great up until then, just somehow living together is going to be like, oh no, we can't live together, we can't even be together. Then what? Then you're single and traveling around and living your life doing whatever you want to do. Yeah, that's
I
a
don't want
terrible
to.
case
Well, that's the
scenario.
thing. I'm afraid of the fights of living together, because I think, in my mind anyways, I feel like there's more fights when you live together because you see that
Sure,
person more
sure.
often, and you're just probability. it's
Yeah,
just
no, absolutely.
it's
No,
more likely to happen,
yes.
and we
Yeah,
really don't. Our fights are just small. It's not even a fight. It's just like, oh, I didn't consider that's how you could feel about that, or oh, that came across a
right.
little harsh. My bad. They're not like fights, you know. And
Yeah,
I
and
think
these won't be either. These will be little minor things that you guys will figure out because it's not that difficult. It is just something that sometimes just takes living together to actually get there, and you won't know what the problems are until you live together. You can anticipate or try to figure out what future Sarah is going to say or do all you want, but you're not going to know until you actually get there. And so you can't worry about it.
and this is why you don't get engaged before you live with somebody.
Absolutely. That is 100% true.
Because if I'm having these crazy fucking thoughts and we're not even in the engagement talk yet, then what the fuck?
Yeah. Uh-huh. I mean, they make such a difference. Living together is a good way to get to know somebody, so you get to know a lot about them. Now, the thing is you've actually lived with him to a degree,
For a
um,
handful of weeks in a row, but it wasn't
which
our
taught you
space.
some things that you didn't think that you maybe that already anticipated some of the arguments, like the sleeping, like having not sleeping in separate beds, but having separate bedrooms. So if one of you needs to sleep and one of you can't or whatever, like you have that space.
Right.
That's not something you might have immediately known. That's something that that took a little bit of time together to figure out. So that like you guys kind of dodged that one because that's a big one.
No
Like that.
shit. I think it's
Yeah.
annoying. Well, when I was staying with him, I thought it was annoying that you could just turn off the fucking computer and go to sleep with me, but
Right.
he wasn't tired. So then I had to sleep in a different room. And, he said, you don't have to. But yeah, so
So
that is
now you know that
that
when
is
you're ready
one
for
thing.
bed, you can go to bed at 8:15, or whatever time it is you like to go to bed. And
8:05.
yeah,
No.
there we go. And he can do his thing because yeah, coming to bed with you is not going to happen all the time. It might happen sometimes, but that's definitely something that you guys that is an issue. And I remember Amy having that same issue that I was just never tired when she wanted to go to bed, and I was like, I'm sorry, I'm a late night person, and I would originally try to lay there. I originally would like lay there, and then once she fell asleep, I'd eventually get up and go back to work. And sometimes I would fall asleep and I would sleep until like 2 in the morning, and all of a sudden I'd wake up at 2 and I'd be like, well, now I'm awake. And then I would get up at 2 in the morning. So it's good that you guys like know that already. Because that's a much bigger argument than the occasional dish in the sink. Like the
That's true.
sleeping patterns together as a couple is gonna be a much bigger. And you guys have kind of resolved that already by your small stints of staying together. So
Yeah, I can't have him reading his Kindle while I'm trying to sleep next to him. That's
Kindle doesn't even make that much glow. It doesn't even
I don't know. It's
glow.
just the light. It's just the light. I don't
Oh
like it.
my
I like to be
god.
in pitch black. Just
You are so
fucking.
spoiled.
Are you surprised? Let's be real.
No,
Are you
no,
surprised?
no, no. I'm the type of person I can fall asleep sitting straight up in the middle of like a busy room and have no problem. I could just like I'm out. Once I'm
Perfect
asleep, I'm asleep.
conditions, princess vibes over here. Anyways,
Total.
enough about my relationship woes. It'll all be figured out and fine, but I just kind of wanted to chat about that. Let's talk. So you mentioned earlier you're in Memphis.
Yes, I have been not walking in Memphis.
Sitting in
I've been
Memphis.
mostly sitting in Memphis. I did a little driving in Memphis.
Wow, dating
Uh,
in Memphis?
I did a little dating in Memphis. Yeah, so I'm here till the 15th. We're recording this. What, today is the 8th, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this will come out on Friday, and then I'm here till the 15th. And I have gone. I went on Tinder and Bumble, and matched with a few people. It's funny. I went on Bumble and ended up matching with people from Little Rock.
Were you still? Those were the
No,
leftover
those
people.
are ones that had swiped right on me, like, and so like it wasn't that I was matching, like I all of a sudden got these matches because they had swiped right on me, but I was now had moved on. So that was just kind of an interesting thing. And I've come across both on Tinder and I just merged those into Tyndall, Tinder
Tyndall.
and Bumble, Tyndall. A lot of people who are also on the road. Like it's a surprisingly high amount of people that I'm like, they're
Really?
like, oh yeah, we have, I just have an RV and I'm just traveling with my dog or whatever. Like
Huh.
they're not really have a set place to go. So that's been kind of interesting. And there was one person from TikTok who I was chatting. I was like, well, eventually we're gonna cross paths, and like my path is taking me up like to Pittsburgh and then to Baltimore, and she's right now leaving Pittsburgh and heading down through to like the Carolinas, and I'm like, how we're missing each other by like a few days now, like, which is just kind of funny. So we'll have to figure that out eventually. But no, I matched with somebody and we went on a date. We originally, her message was funny because she said that she thought I was a catfish because she recognized me from TikTok.
Oh,
And
ooh, would someone catfish your profile? Do you think?
well, I was like, yeah, that's a pretty ballsy catfish. To have like a bacon photo of you and then be like, yeah, that's me. Like I feel like that's way over than using like stock photography. That's way over the top of. I don't think anybody would ever do that. But yeah. So at first she thought that, but then she was very. I enjoyed chatting with her because she was very upfront. She was just like, I think she just said something like, I even sent you the screenshot. She was like, so I wouldn't say no if you asked me out to asked me out for a drink or something like that. And so I was like, hmm. Well, would you like to go out for a drink? So, like basically just
Right.
parroted it back to her. So yeah, we made
So
plans. We went out.
easy for you. Wow.
I know. I think I sent you a screenshot. I was like, dating so hard. It's just
Like, shut the fuck up, Adam.
but yeah, it was fun. We met up on Sunday night and met her out for. She chose a bar because obviously I don't know anywhere here, and so we went to a bar and she was running a little bit late. Anybody who watches the Date Kind of Sucks Instagram probably saw that she messaged me 5 minutes late and said, "Hey, I'm running a few minutes late," and we ended up being like 40 minutes late, but. But like
And
I
you
knew she was
still
coming.
stayed?
I knew she was coming, and she told me she was late. Like she told me that she was running late, so I was like, I'm not too worried about it. Um, and also, I was enjoying the bar, so it was one of those things. If it had been like a place that I really didn't like, I probably would have been much less likely to stay. But I had been chatting with the bartender, and she was cool, and I was like, oh, this place is kind of neat. I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy my drink.
Wait, where'd you go? Do you
A
even
little
know?
bar called it's called Bar DKDC, which apparently they call it Bar Dick Dick. Yeah,
What?
yeah, it's this little tiny bar that just, yeah, it was fun and was trying some of their drinks. And so she came and she's really interesting. We had a really fun conversation, and she actually had a friend with her. She had forgotten that a friend was coming from out of town to visit her, and
What a
so
shit show.
I
What a
know.
shit show.
So she invited him just to like come out to the bar, and then there was live music, so he went to go like listen to that, but like he stopped by and said hi or whatever, and I guess they're friends from like school, and he was in just happened to be like she'd already made plans for him to crash on her couch basically, and she had completely forgotten about it. Um, yeah, I know it was funny,
Okay.
which is why she was late because I guess she was like he was coming to town or there or something like that. I'm not sure, but anyways, we had a great time. Like it was really fun. I would have kept the night going, but I drove there and I had like 3 drinks, and since what happened in Little Rock, which did we talk about on the podcast?
No, that you passed out. No, because we recorded while you were drunk.
Oh, that was the night before.
That was the
What
night
happened.
before. I think that was the
That's
night
true, yeah.
before. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I went out on Little Rock on Saturday night and met a friend that Saturday night after the day after we recorded, had a couple drinks with some friends, and then drove back. I had like 3 drinks. It was for over like 3 hours. Drove back, parked my car, and then walked to a local bar that's right around the corner. There's a gay bar that everybody's like, oh, it's really cool. So I was like, let me go there. I walked in. It was great. I had 2 drinks, and that was it. And then I don't remember checking out or leaving the bar. Next thing I remember is just like waking up and I'm sitting on a bench outside the hotel. And I get up to go into the hotel and like I left my phone. I was sitting next to a homeless guy and I left my phone and he was like, hey, dude, you left your phone, and handed it to me. And I don't remember anything there. Like there was this weird, like just fugue state. And I don't know if I got slipped something.
Which I don't think anyone would waste their drugs on you. But okay.
Not very nice.
What is the benefit? How are they gonna take advantage of you? You're a big ass dude.
But if I'm like completely don't remember what I'm doing, you just tell me what to do. I guess I don't know. I have no idea.
I think you drank too much. I don't
think I did though. That's the thing. I literally had 5 or 6 drinks over the course of 6 hours. Like it was like that's not a lot of
It could
alcohol.
have been doubles. I don't know.
I mean, but even that's like 1 hour. Like that's enough time for my body to break down.
See, I would die.
Well, yes.
I would
Yes,
actually die.
But even then, if I was like drunk, that would be one thing. But like having this weird period where like I just
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
true.
So
Maybe I
wasn't sure
shouldn't
what
make
happened.
fun of you. I'm sorry. People do want to drug you, Adam. All the people.
Why don't you suck my dick from the back? All right.
Oh, you're gonna use that insult on the podcast? Wow, that's a first. That was mine. That was mine.
I know,
you
I stole
piece
it from
of shit.
you.
That was mine.
It's such a good one. I love it. I've been using that all the time. I've never used it on the podcast. Oh, but anyway, so like I wasn't but I wasn't 100% sure if I got drugged or something happened. But that's Then the next day I had to pick up Sarah at 9 a.m. to drive. We went to
Hot
like
Springs.
Hot Springs to look at this cool chapel that I wanted to see, and she was going to go anyways. And we wandered around a little bit, and then afterwards, Sarah's like, "I'm going to go back," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to the car. I'm about to die." Like I wasn't hungover until like walking around in the fucking 90-degree humidity, and then I was like, "I'm about to die. This is terrible." So, anyways, I wasn't sure if it was that I did get dosed with something, or if like maybe somehow my alcohol tolerance has just disappeared completely, and that was enough to black out. So after like 2 drinks, I was like, I don't really want to keep drinking. I drove, and I thought it would be kind of an early night because my friends that I was staying with had tentative plans to like watch a movie with their kids and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, I'll join you for that. So I was disappointed, but I was like, listen, I got to go around like 9:30ish or so. So we had a couple hours and had really good conversation.
Could have been more if she wasn't late. Just saying.
Well, that is very
Just
true.
saying.
I cannot argue with that. So it was a good time though. Had fun. I definitely could see like she's somebody that I would absolutely see if I was here for a long time, like going out with multiple times. We planned a tentative date for tomorrow night, which is Thursday, but I think unfortunately I'm gonna have to cancel anyway. So
Why?
oh, things are just financially too tight for me to keep going out. Like that's another thing
that's
too. It's
fair.
like I could maybe go out once a trip, like I gotta keep things pretty close right now as far as going out, and so I think it might be better not to. And also I think like we really got along, and it's just going to be I almost feel like what's the
Thinking why?
point?
Yeah.
Because I enjoyed talking to her and actually could totally see like, oh yeah, she would be somebody I would totally date. Like I could totally see that. But I'm like, well, now what? Like it's fun to have someone to socialize with, but if they're someone that I'd want to date, then it becomes just like, oh, now it's just sad, that we're gonna spend a little bit of time together and then I'm gonna head out. And I don't know. I don't have a place that she can come back to right now. Either if I had a hotel, it might be different because then I could be like, we can go back to my hotel room. But yeah. So
What's your plan when you stay in Vermont for a month? Strictly work, no dating or whatever? Because at what point
I'll
are
be in
you gonna
Vermont for
say this
multiple months. So
okay.
over the whole winter, and so from like October to like January or February.
God, the worst fucking time to be there, dude.
It'll be amazing. I'll just be like snowed in to finish my book. It'll be perfect. But
call me in January. Call me in January.
I don't think I'll have it's a small town. Apparently, it's a dirt road off a dirt road where my cousin's place.
You're gonna hate your life. I already know.
I might, but I don't think there's going to be much in the way of socializing in this town. I don't think there's going to be much in the way of Tinder. It's going to be like when I was in Island Park, Idaho, and there was 200 people in the 20-mile radius, and I matched it or swiped on everybody that was even available, basically, in the first night. So I'm not too worried about that. I'm just like, whatever. If I don't date, I don't date. I can always wait till I come down to the warmer weather. Go back to North Carolina, go back to Florida, whatever. So
Okay.
yeah, that's really it. Although I will say, this being said, that even though dating is kind of, I'm totally down to like socialize with people. Like I like meeting up with people and stuff like that. So if you're listening to this and you're anywhere on my trip, I mean, I'm going there from Memphis to Nashville to Lexington, Kentucky to Cincinnati, and then Pittsburgh, and then Baltimore, and then up to Boston, and then Vermont. So I'll be kind of all over. So if you're in any of those areas or nearby, let me know, because I'll totally be up for like meeting up and saying hi. It'd be fun if there's any listeners that want to do that.
Yeah. Also, before we break, what happened with your Kickstarter? Because we had talked a lot about that the past full episode.
Yes. Well, we had several listeners that actually contributed to it, which was very nice. And thank you for the support. And I met my goal. The goal actually
Woohoo!
expired today. So I met the goal plus some, which is nice. And so a lot of those people that have pre-ordered are going to get, I'm going to work on trying to get the book finished by December, ideally. And that's kind of the goal. But yes, I met the goal, which was exciting for me and exciting for everybody that backed it. And at some point, there'll be another way to order pre-orders as the book gets closer to, and I'll let people know if they actually want to, pre-order a copy that way.
Love it. Yay.
Yeah.
Happy for you. Look at all that shameless promotion and all the memes really did you well.
I know. I did so many memes. I was the meme king for a month. I think I came up with like 15 memes. It was too much, too many memes. But it worked, because every now I would do one, and then one every now and then like somebody would back it because they saw my post, So it had its benefit, I think. Maybe. Maybe it would have done better if I didn't use memes. Who knows? But yeah, so that's all that's been going on with me. And I don't even know if the person I went on the date with here in Memphis, if she listens to the podcast or not, because TikTok obviously a little bit of a different environment. But I guess we'll see if she listens to this episode. But I texted her this morning and said I didn't think I could make the date tomorrow, and I haven't heard from her at all. So I'm kind of wondering if she just decided like scorched earth was her response or whatever. But I guess we'll see.
Damn. Well, it'll be Friday when the episode comes out. So tomorrow is the date. So I mean,
yeah, we'll have an answer.
It's not new news. You'll know that you didn't go on the date.
Yeah, no, that's for damn sure. You're right. Very good point with that. It's not going to be a surprise for that. Should we take a break and get back to and then get to our topic du jour?
Yeah, let's talk about some sexual mindfulness once we get back from this break. I'm pretty sure you think mindfulness and meditation is bullshit. I don't see you as the type of person who meditates or likes any of those things.
Well, okay.
Okay, am I wrong? Okay,
am I wrong? No. You're wrong. I mean, you are wrong. Now, I do think that a lot of the stuff around meditation is absolute bullshit. I do think
the dating coach stuff of this is how you win at life by meditating type of.
Oh yeah, that stuff is all bullshit. Yeah, but I do think let's remind our audience and you, by the way, that I have a bachelor's in East Asian Studies, which was a focus on Asian religion.
Okay, I did forget this.
We did a lot of stuff with Asian, spirituality and things like that too. My Japanese religion class, and actually took a long weekend in college to a place called Yogaville outside of Charlottesville, Virginia.
I don't believe it.
I did fall asleep during the 5:30 a.m. yoga. I will admit that. I've studied it a lot, and I've actually studied, and I understand the basic concept of it, and I agree with it. I think that a lot of what we do, a lot of ways to improve yourself is about centering yourself and about focusing on things and getting rid of distractions, and mantras and self-realization and manifesting things, I think, are all have some basis in reality. But I think like bullshit like The Secret is just, shit that they just try to feed people. Like, here, buy our book and you're going to have, you can,
You'll win at life.
yeah, you'll win at life. When it's not always that.
Manifest and all these things will come true to you. That's the reaching stuff that I definitely think manifestations and mindfulness is useful. But when it gets to this, and you can have everything you want in life if you just write it down and never look at it again, and just you've manifested it. Some things do take work.
Yes. Yes, work is a big part of it. And I think that when we talk about just basic meditation, that as long as if you're doing something that helps you be centered, and whether that is sitting on the floor in a pose that actually makes a difference and doing that, or you're just laying in your bed, or you're standing in the shower and you're just like saying something that helps, whatever, like, I know when I got stressed when I was younger, like I would sit in the shower and just be like, everything's going to be okay. And I would tell myself that, like, literally while I took a shower, like, just repeat it over and over again. It was like a mantra. And it did help, because it just kind of, it does kind of center you a little bit. It just, the repetition and the rhythm helps. And sometimes the words help. Sometimes the words can just be like, I like to fuck a sandwich or whatever. Like, I don't know. I'm just making that up. But, like, whatever you're saying.
Why
like,
is that the first thing that comes to
it
your
didn't.
mind?
It took me a little.
What the fuck?
I'm just.
Why the sandwich? Because
Just
there's
think about a
two.
bologna sandwich. You just want to fuck a sandwich. I don't know. It's just like but if you're like sitting there and
I'm
just like,
done with you.
I want to fuck a sandwich, and you're just like saying that over and over again, then that could be like your mantra, and that would be okay.
The way that you're saying that and taking yourself so seriously, saying
I was
that.
trying to describe it in a serious way.
I want to fuck a sandwich. Let me. Okay, hang on one second. Let me do this. I want to be fucked by a hot dog. I'm just thinking of the sandwich thing.
Oh, yeah, the sandwich thing.
Anyways.
I want to fuck a hoagie. Like, maybe that's what it is. It has to have a little rhythm to it. But
I want to fuck. It's like, I want to suck your blood. I want to suck your dick. Okay, we have gone way far.
Wow. All right.
Thanks a lot, sandwich.
So, so anyway, so yes, I'm not as much of a Neanderthal. Maybe I am, actually. Now that I'm saying everything here, I might be worse. Be worse if
I was going to talk about something that made me feel very centered, and then I thought about a joke after it, and now I just can't stop thinking about it. So, because for me personally, I like to do a little bit. I'm not a yogi by any means, but especially through the early pandemic up until now, if I feel just really tense or I just need to get up and move around, I'll typically do like downward dog, but not.
Right.
And I'll just do a couple simple poses like child's pose, or I think it's cobra. I don't fucking know the poses, but there's a one, I don't know. It's like the simplest standard move in yoga that they do in every class. And I just keep kind of doing that on the floor, and then I just focus on breathing and I feel more centered. So there is something to be said about that.
Yes. And where was your joke about downward dog?
Yeah, and then I talked about I want to get fucked by a hot dog.
Face down, ass up. That's how you want to get fucked by a hot dog?
Yes. How did you know? From the back. From the back.
Oh my God. We are so bad at this.
We're not being very mindful right now, that's for sure.
We're not. We decided to kind of talk about this topic because I've seen it crop up a lot in recent studies, and talks about what 2021 is, in 2022 they're bringing us as far as like sex and relationships. And I think a lot of people are thinking that because the pandemic had so many people that were alone, that they kind of like were learning their own bodies a lot better. And now that they're with partners, they are less likely to want to put up with bad sex. And
as it should be, really.
Well, of course, 100%. You should never put up with bad sex. But at the same time, they're also more about trying to explore whether it's both sexuality, positions, and opportunity, but also just getting to know each other's bodies better.
What's the rush?
Right. And that's where sexual mindfulness comes in.
Yeah. Well, you
Rush
think
is like
about
rush is when you have a fuck boy who just wants to come in, pump 3 times, sweat on your face a little bit, and then be like, "Oh, did you come?" Have you ever had that? That sweat just drips right on your head, and just like,
it's disgusting.
"Oh, did you come, baby?" And
Did
then
you
you're
come?
like,
That was so good for me. And I'm like, wait, what the fuck? I mean, but that is, I
Yeah.
think pre-pandemic, that was a reality. I mean, I wasn't fucking these dudes, but that was a
Right.
reality of no one's taking their fucking time.
Yeah.
And what's the rush? But you have a million other people out there, so I gotta just fuck them all, because that's my vibe. Where I think the mindfulness also comes in because of the pandemic, because there's been so much fucking craziness in the past year and a half with so many other things happening in the news that people are having to focus more on, well, what can I control? How can
Right.
I focus on making sure I'm happy? Because I can't control what other people do, whether it comes down to getting vaccinated or wearing a mask or
Right. Right.
doing whatever. So I need to focus on me and be mindful in that. And I definitely think that translates into sexual mindfulness as well, because we're just overall, at least in my circles, as a society that I'm seeing, people are just more mindful and watching their time better.
Yeah. 100%.
Why would you waste your time fucking someone who wants to be with you for 3 seconds to satisfy themselves, that doesn't want to get to know you? Next.
Well, I think that a lot of people learn that they don't necessarily need to meet up and have immediate, like, constant sex. Like maybe a lot of women have learned too that it's just like they can actually go without it. They can please themselves just as well. So why are they going to continue to put up with really bad sex? In that place.
Would you say we're having a sexual awakening? Or what constitutes an awakening? This mindfulness isn't really an awakening, but we've been in a different, I wouldn't say position. We've been in a different mindset. We've been in a different position. We've been in a different mindset because of the pandemic, because of a delay in dating and gratification
Right.
sexually
Right.
and knowing we can masturbate more. Does that also open the doors for, well, I don't know, maybe I'm more aware of my body now because of that. So this leads to,
It could be. I definitely say there's some awakening, and the people are less willing to put up with some bullshit. I think, and I think that's an awakening right there. That's more of a revolution. Just like I think when we had Me Too really took off in 2017, 2016, 17. That was like this kind of wave that was starting, and now with the pandemic it's like people have had the time to really kind of grow into their power, and now they're just like, you know what, we're done putting up with any of this shit. And a lot of this might be also for me like what I see on TikTok too, because I see a lot of very pro feminism, very anti misogyny, anti just this wave of toxic masculinity, and people are trying to maybe expand their horizons too.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if I see that as much on my TikTok, but I definitely can
Right.
I can understand the vibe of it though, of
Yeah.
with all the things we've been through, why don't we make mindfulness more of why don't we make our happiness and sexual pleasure more of a priority instead of just fucking people to fuck people because it's fun to say, yeah, I hooked up with, is it fun to say that? I hooked up
Yeah.
with someone. Is that really
I mean, because I think
what's
people should
best?
who still just want to have quick sex with people should still be allowed to have quick sex
Well,
with
of
people. Of
course, of
course,
course.
like that. There's no judgment if you want to, but I think sometimes people are like, well, now no, I want something that's going to be a little more meaningful and actually going to be more pleasurable, and something that I have positive memories about. And I think that sexual mindfulness also it deals a lot with communication, which also means that things are going to be much more consensual too.
That's true.
You're less likely to worry about things where all of a sudden it gets out of hand too quickly, and you have to withdraw consent. And so I think that's also part of it. I also think maybe with these new Handmaid's Tale laws that we're seeing in Texas and propping up in other places, that a lot of women may be like, whoa, I don't want to just fuck anybody anymore, like
That's
because
true.
men don't deserve it anymore. Like, men don't get this anymore. Like, you know what? They have to earn this if I'm gonna risk going, paying thousands of dollars in a fine now because I have to, because I want to have a termination. So that's a big part of it too. But to get back from that a little bit though. One thing this reminded me of back when I remember when I was in college, I went to visit a friend on my way home from school one year or over the holidays, and she was at a small like Christian school in South Carolina, Furman University, I remember. And I remember that I was staying in a room, but I had to hide. So like
Because guys
anytime,
couldn't be in a girl.
yeah. So like
Yeah.
anytime that I had to go hide in her closet, and and then of course I wasn't sexually active. I was a virgin. I had never had sex. I had maybe two girlfriends up at that point, and that was really about it. And I remember she was kind of hippie-ish. I don't know if how active she was sexually, but she was telling me this like she'd been studying this like tantric meditation, and one thing it said was that you and it can be a friend, like a platonic friend, like sit naked across from each other, like cross-legged, like and then you sit and you like put your palms like up against each other, and you look in like into each other's eyes, and then when one of you breathes out, the other one breathes in, and you just do that for a few minutes.
Whoa.
And you look at one of the like both of your eyes at one eye, and they look at the other eye basically, and you're just kind of like creating this cycle, essentially, just this and I remember like it stuck with me obviously this many years. It's been
Right.
it's a ton of years later, and we never did it because I think at that point she wanted to try it, but I was too I was too
Nervous to get
nervous. Right.
naked.
Yeah, just to like to do any of that. Like
Yeah.
I just was not confident and comfortable. And now I'd be like, yeah, let's do it. I'd be like, hey,
I know I'm thinking I should do this with Master of None. What the fuck? But I don't know if he would be about it because it feels more spiritual than anything else.
Yeah, but it was just kind of like it was something about putting your bodies in the same rhythm, and it was just supposed to be like and she was a very close friend. So she's like, it just builds this connection between friends between anybody, and that sticks with me, and I think that to a degree is a level of this mindfulness here.
Oh
Of
yeah.
the sexual mindfulness, but it was a memory that just popped into my head that out of nowhere, so I thought I would share that.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of I've I mean, me personally, in order to come, I have to be very focused on my breath and what I'm thinking about, like just
Right.
in the moment. Because if I'm not, and if I'm anticipating what I have to do after we fuck or any other thing, it's hard for me to get back into it once that's been broken a couple of times in or during intercourse. So I totally
Yes.
understand this of really focusing on the breathing aspect and just
Yeah.
being in the moment. But I also think too with sexual mindfulness, and we'll talk about like ways that you can practice it, but a lot of it is really taking your time with that person
Yes. And
instead of
not in a
forcing it.
foreplay way.
Yeah, and not in a foreplay
Yeah.
way. Just yeah.
And but not focusing on orgasms is actually a big part of that, is to try to stop making that the focus of your experience with that person, but to take it off of the orgasm itself and focus on just the experience in the moment as it's happening.
So I can actually share. I think Master of None and I do that. Well, I do this to Master of None because I actually really enjoy it. And I don't tell me if you've experienced anything like this, but I really love when we're in that mode of we just want to be chill and kind of fool around, but we're not like ready to get into it type of thing. And it is a type of foreplay, but I can just touch his dick and give him like a low key hand job of playing around with his dick and like moving my fingers around his tit,
Hmm.
like the tip of his dick, and just grasping his shaft in different ways and playing with his balls. That it's enjoyable and pleasurable to me, not in a way that I'm going to come, but to see him experience pleasure in that slow of a
Yes.
rhythm and just how slow of that foreplay experience is, and we're just focused on that. There's nothing else around. It's just that, and I lose sense of like I'm like, how long have I been doing this? But I don't mind it. But
Right.
I lose track of time with stuff like that. And I think it sounds stupid of like, oh, you lost track of time jerking him off. But it's more than just the act of jerking him off, if that
Uh-huh.
makes
Uh-huh.
sense. It's the breathing, it's the seeing him enjoy pleasure and us just being in that moment that feels a lot more intimate than just whacking one off.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. No, and I've had a girlfriend was like that, where we would usually would like bang one out like quick, and then like would be laying there, and then I would like laying there kind of in the afterglow, and then it'd start like, usually like she was kind of curled up on my arms a little bit, and so like I would have my hands kind of just slowly like from the top of her head down her neck and down her back, and then she would just kind of be like tracing her arms on my chest, or tracing her fingers on my chest and stomach, and maybe not even touch anywhere like that's sexual, but just the physical contact, and we just like in a
Mhm.
pattern, and just didn't kind of get into it, and then sometimes we'd get there, like it would just be like we'd just be doing that and just kind of relaxed, and this it was almost like it almost was like a type of meditation, in the sense that we were just sitting there just moving our hands in a rhythm, and then eventually like we just would both get it turned on again, and we'd just be like, all right, like, and then have
Now we need to
like,
break this and actually fuck.
and I yeah, and then
Yeah.
end up having sex again. But it was really good the second time, and it was I would say the refractory period was a lot, like it wasn't like a problem. I wasn't worried or like that. I wasn't stressed about, oh, am I going to be able to, get hard for a second time
Because
or
there
around a
wasn't a
sex,
goal of that.
because
There
yeah,
wasn't.
we weren't focused on it. It was just happened to be that, hey, we're just like, this is vibing really well, and it's just a really like the vibe. It's just that we were both like on the same level.
Yeah, God, it's so intimate in the best kind of way. When I'm thinking about it, of just we're very relaxed. We're just in each other's space, focused
Yes.
on that. There's really nothing else. There's no, I have to cook dinner after this, or what time is it, or whatever. It's just what we're doing in that moment. And it
Hmm.
doesn't, and I don't know about for you, but for me, it doesn't happen that often because we're so either, we only have so much time to fuck, or
Right.
there's, I don't know, other things to do after we fuck, so we can't just spend the day lounging around. I think the
Sure.
times where I feel most mindful when it comes to sex are the days where we don't have anything planned, where we can just, there's, the world is our oyster.
Right. Right.
We
Right.
can touch each other for as long as we want, and there's just whatever, it's fine.
I think that that is obviously the reality of the situation, is that we talk about this like, oh, everybody should try to practice sexual mindfulness, but sometimes you got shit to do too, and so you can't always just like throw away half a day doing it. But it doesn't always have to take a half a day. It can be something
That's
that
true.
the same time that I mean, you could spend an hour doing it, and an hour might be just as good as, or a half hour even, than all day. I think that a lot of it is just um, it's not necessarily knowing that you don't have things after your schedule, that you have to worry about in your schedule, but it's about getting rid of distractions up until you're done, and not worrying about, not having the TV on something that's distracting, having, maybe music on if you're a music person, even sounds. You could probably put something on if you wanted to, like something
That's a good
relaxing,
point. Yeah.
a beach or something like that, and then just like making sure the phones are off, or if if you're an OnlyFans person recording, and and then
What?
what, and then just but like not having your phones on you, like not
Right.
having, you don't want have at least having them muted and put away, and being able to just sit there with the person and just be with that person for however long you can, and just and start to just realize, okay, we're not here because one of us has to come. That's not the goal. Like the goal is just, let's just enjoy each other's company. This isn't about foreplay. It's not like I go down on you, you go down on me. It is about touch. There's that tactile, but it's about all senses. It's about breathing, it's about seeing and hearing and smelling and
Believing?
tasting
No.
and believing.
Yeah, seeing is believing. No, I'm kidding.
And but like the breathing, and I think matching your breathing can help too. Taking deep breaths can be good, just like for both of you, but getting into a rhythm is good. And then like I said, the smelling and the tasting and all of that is all part of, using all of your senses with somebody is a way to be very mindful with them. And you both might have an orgasm, you might not, but that's not the point. And then I think that's a big part of it that a lot of men might have issues with. I think women are less likely to have issues with it, because
We
how
don't
many
always
times?
come.
Yeah, exactly. And I could see a lot of men, especially kind of the garbage men that we talk about, not having any interest in this whatsoever, because what's the
Yep.
point? If it's not foreplay, and they're not,
If it's not leading to something, why am I going to spend time doing it? And I think the other point of why people probably wouldn't do it is they can't get out of their own heads to think this isn't stupid, because they're
yeah,
the whole time they're, and I'm speaking, if you would have approached this 2-3 years ago, I might say, this is kind of stupid. I can't get into it because that's not what sex is supposed to be, or because I've never really practiced mindfulness in my own life or given a shit about yoga and breathing in those ways, that now that I kind of appreciate those things more, that I
Yeah.
can kind of add that into my sex life in a way that's beneficial for myself and my partner.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just don't think a lot of people or people will struggle with getting out of their own heads to practice sexual mindfulness if they want to, because I think at first it'll probably start off with a couple of laughs of like, what, if you're doing the whole hands, going back to
If
your
you,
friend
yeah,
in
you're trying
college,
to
if
say,
you were doing something like that, I think I would laugh and do whatever and then try to take myself seriously. And if you approach it of, okay, let's just focus on our breathing, if you're in a goofy type mood, then maybe you won't have that same experience either, because you're not in the mindset to be
that's true.
mindful.
But have you ever been in a goofy mood, then you start getting turned on, and then it stops being goofy? You know, like you just
Yeah, but
kind of,
it doesn't turn intimate like that though. Like I can be
yeah,
in a
yeah,
goofy mood and then end up fucking somebody, you know.
right,
I was
right.
just in a silly goofy mood. Oh, how'd that get in there? I don't know.
How'd that
I
get in there?
how'd that
Back to the hot dog again.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's also the vibe that you said at the beginning of, if you're able to sustain that through maybe just the hour that you have, of if you go into it going, okay, we're going to dim the lights, we're going to, actually take this time for this. I think you're going
Yeah,
to be more successful than, let's just try to be mindful during sex on the fly.
right, right. Well,
Might
it's
not.
like, well, yeah, yeah. On the fly, I think you can't, because you actually do have to kind of set that space for it. You have to get your area ready with no distractions. It takes preparation as well. It's like, what did when I did a like a Zen float, like 90 minutes of floating in the,
Oh, yeah, and
yeah,
this
I used to do
or
those all the
whatever.
time. Yeah, and like the sensor deprivation tanks. And like it was nice and relaxing and just so soothing, and you could just meditate and you could just get, feel great. And then the way that they ended it was usually like the light would just slowly grow, and so slowly come on until like you were aware that it was even getting brighter, and then you're like, oh, now it's time to get out of here. That's how my time is up. And I think you can set things like that, like where you're setting kind of like something that's not going to all of a sudden just like jar you out of it either, but let you just kind of slowly come out of it. But I was thinking that, like you and Master Nun, you like different bedtimes. But if like you went into your bedtime, you're like, here, let's like that was your time to do that. Like you had no distractions, and you're like, let's try this, like, and just that would be a good time, because you could go to sleep right after. And if he chose to fall, like, you know what, maybe I am tired now. Like maybe I've put my mind at rest, and I'm not like thinking about all the things I have to do. Maybe, but it also might be a nice way to kind of like try going to bed, because it can take as long as it wants. If it's something where, like if
That's
until you,
true. Yeah.
and then it's just it's something I definitely intrigues me, and I think it also takes a partner. It's not someone you just do with a random like person
Yeah,
you
this is
pick up
more
on Tinder.
relationship. Yeah, I cannot, and that's why I say
Yeah,
old me, because old me was not in a relationship, so there's no way I could see any of the slew of guys I've dated in the past over the past couple of years being able to do this with them, because they're focused on the orgasm, and we're not at a level yet, intimate, like conversation wise or anything, where I think we could take it seriously and someone not like, I don't think I would be okay with being vulnerable around someone that I've only gone on a handful of dates with, where this requires, in my mind anyways, a lot more vulnerability of just going, I'm a human. I want to experience pleasure with another human with no end goal in sight. I just want to,
right.
I don't think you could do that early on in a dating scenario.
No, I agree. I agree. And I mean, you could do it maybe early on in a dating scenario once you start to feel comfortable. Like, I mean, you doesn't have to be like in a relationship with someone, but
Right.
you couldn't do it like it's not going to be a hookup type thing ever. It's not going to be like, oh, this is a person I'm casually hooking up with. Let's practice sexual mindfulness. No, I really don't think there's a place for it in that. That's not likely. But I do think that what this means is that if you're in a relationship, you have a partner you can do it, but you don't have to. That's the nice thing about sexual mindfulness, is that a lot of it is you starting to learn your own body and what you like and what you don't, and like breathing with yourself, and be taking care of your, like, just listening to your body. So you can do this on your own. And so for individuals, this doesn't leave them out in the dark. They can actually do this too. And I mean, it's not it's almost the equivalent of like masturbation, like edging, where like you
Right.
don't come, but it's not quite. It's not quite it's not because you're not necessarily touching yourself in an intimate way. You're just getting to know your body and feeling and checking in with each level of your body. Relaxing from your forehead
Do
all the
I
way down
like
to your toes.
it's not it's as I touch my boob. It's more of like sorry, I just was
Sarah's really getting into this right now. I just want you to know she just
I just caught myself and then
she
realized I was on
she
camera.
just-
Fuck. Well, if you're on YouTube, no. Well, I'm thinking, if I and I have, with masturbating and just touching myself, feeling because I don't really experience a lot of pleasure around my boobs. Like
Right.
it just doesn't do nipples or whatever. But when I'm trying to be more mindful and it's just me and my breathing or whatever, that's something where I'm like, oh, do I like this? No. But like I take the time to kind of rediscover, oh, I could like this, or this part behind my knee. Oh, that kind of I don't know, just random
right.
just random parts of my body of, oh, hey there. I forgot, we're so focused on the genitals, the dick, the vagina. That's it. Of feeling,
Yeah.
oh, I also like this little thing on my shoulder or whatever, and
Right,
focusing on that of, oh, I can experience pleasure here. Okay, that's cool. Just relearning that kind of touch, not necessarily the genitalia side of it.
Yes.
As I touch my boob.
I think that with one thing that I like, I have a meditation app sometimes I'll sleep with. It's called deep sleep, but any of these can be good if you can't do it yourself. But like almost a mental checklist sometimes where it's like this one's just like someone saying okay, now relax your eyebrows, like just relax and then take a deep breath. Okay, relax your cheeks. Relax your jaw, and it just goes down your entire body, just head to toe. And so you're like checking in with every part of your body as you go down. Relax your fingertips, and so you're actively doing that. And by the time it reaches your toes, like usually when I put that in,
You're
usually I'm like,
asleep.
I'm asleep, like I pass out because it's just like I'm so relaxed. But you could also do that in almost in a sensual way, or in a personally intimate way too, just like where you just trace your fingers down your body, you just trace, but you touch each part of your body, not even to see if it's something that is turning you on, but just in a, like this, this is me.
My body.
Yes, exactly.
That's true. Yeah, I guess I do that as well.
Yeah.
But then I'm always like, to the boobs? No, the boobs
To the
don't.
boobs.
To the boobs.
The
I
boobs.
appreciate them, but no.
So this is a whole topic here. So nothing, boobs don't get you, like no boob play it does anything for you? Nipples, nothing?
Nothing.
Like-
I've always thought when guys suck on my tits that it's just, what are you doing? What do you do? What, you're embarrassing yourself. Like it's mean, but because they might enjoy it,
it's
but
not an erogenous zone for
but
you,
it
it's
doesn't
just,
do shit for me, and I'm like,
what about
like,
pain there?
I it's not like I want to get my nipples pierced in any
Not
way.
like pierced, but like biting or
Oh no, I
pinching.
experience pain there and I don't like it. Or Master Nun will blow on my nipples and then, just to get them to get hard, and then just kind of flick them or do whatever. And that, it doesn't really, yeah, cool. My nipples can get hard, but that doesn't really do anything for me either. I'm just like, yeah, my body does that. Cool. Awesome. Yay.
Do you look any weird erogenous sounds like your elbow or something?
Not my elbow, but it's more of a ticklish thing than it is anything else. But when I mentioned behind my knees, that's more of a sensation of me feeling like getting tickled than anything
Right.
else. On my sides, that's not really erogenous, no.
Mm-hmm.
But it still feels you still feel something,
Oh
it's
yeah,
not,
it's a sensation.
nothing.
Yeah. I mean, tickling a lot of times is either it can be a negative or positive feeling depending on the person too. So sometimes the more you touch it and interact with it, the less ticklish it is, because you can't tickle yourself. You ever notice that? Like, it's if someone else touches the back of your knee and you're ticklish, but like you can sit there and touch it and you feel a sensation, but it's not. You can't tickle your own feet, knee.
You can't tickle your. I was gonna say you can't diddle your. I don't know.
What were you gonna? Hold on, wait.
I don't
what
know.
now?
I really don't know. I was just tickle and diddle just ended up in the
All
same
right.
sentence in my brain. Please ignore me at this point.
Oh my god. All right. What else do we want to say about sexual mindfulness?
Besides breathing, besides slowing down,
Eliminating distractions.
yeah, I'm just trying to set the scene for what's going to be the most successful experience. A lot of it is just getting out of your own head.
Yes.
Instead of thinking, this is stupid, what am I doing? Just eliminate that distraction. I especially with some of my panic attacks in the past, I have a playlist of just really relaxing, anxiety reducing music that I listen to. And I could probably play that playlist. And I'm not much of a music person while having sex, but I could probably play that playlist and get into the mindset of being able to rediscover my body and touch myself in that way, because I would find that relaxing. Maybe not the release your eyebrow, release your eyebrows, whatever, down to your toes type of thing, but even just something really, and now I'm thinking yoga music and things like that could actually be really helpful for getting into that space and then being able to focus on your body.
Yeah. I think finding something that works for you. Everybody's going to be a little bit different, and so there's only just kind of general suggestions for doing it. And so you have to find what works for you personally. It's like mantras when you have yoga, whether yours is Om or I want to fuck a sandwich, like whatever it might be. It's whatever actually works for you.
Oh, I want to fuck a sandwich. I'm hungry.
I want to fuck a sandwich.
I want to fuck a sandwich.
Why do you have to set the count? It's not I want
I
to
don't know.
suck
I
your
just
blood.
feel like it's I want to suck your blood. I want to. I don't know.
Oh, that's great.
Communicate.
Anything
I mean,
else?
we could always throw communication into this.
Communication is important.
Yeah.
You have to communicate with each other, and not just in a verbal way, but also in a tactile way too. Like it's communication and body language and movement at the same time too. So
I think if you want to approach sexual mindfulness, you just need to have a conversation with your partner of, hey, the next few times we have sex, I'd like us to slow it down and do this instead, or let's just try to introduce it. You don't have to go full on, let's just be sexually mindful now. I'm going, let's spend the first 15 minutes without actually having a timer, but let's take some time on the front end, not foreplay, but just be in each other's space.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly do think just locking eyes and really getting into their space in that intimate way is really helpful with that too.
Yeah.
Just breathing.
And if you can't lock eyes without laughing, then maybe both try blindfolding too. Blindfolding might be a good way to try to get rid of that sense until it no longer becomes a distraction. Because if a sense is distracting you, then maybe take it away from it.
That's a really good point. Yeah, I don't think, honestly, prior to Master of None, I could be sexually mindful because I was so focused on having to perform as fucked up as that sounds. It's like, it felt like a performance of I'm fucking you. So when you tell your friends that you fucked me, I was a good fuck. But that's not what sex is about. But
getting that gold medal in the dick sucking Olympics there.
I mean, I really tried, right? I put on a performance, but that's not what this is, and that's not what sex should be. But it takes two people, if you're wanting to do this with your partner, it takes the other person to be on that same wavelength. And I don't know with other fuckboys that I've hooked up with in the past if I could get to that, even if we were more intimate in any type of way, because Master of None is so physical touch, and that sense in that aspect of our relationship is so important that we focus on it more.
Right.
So yeah, if you want to, just like with anything with practice, if you want to get better at it, you just need to take baby steps and then practice that more. And it doesn't always have to be in the bedroom either. You could practice being mindful around your partner on the couch. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Without it having to be, like we said, without it actually having to be penetration or any kind of foreplay or anything like that.
Right. I feel like that's a good start to maybe just try that, maybe without the sexual component and just general mindfulness, and then move, then elevate it to sexual mindfulness. It might be less goofy that way, like to people who might find it goofy.
I'm just in a silly, goofy mood. Which, if you are in a silly, goofy mood and want to see me feel myself up on YouTube, you can watch it at youtube.com/datingkindasucks.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. You can watch that. We did put up some bonus episodes. There's not going to be a bonus episode this week, but you can check our Patreon, and that's patreon.com/DKS podcast for bonus episodes. I'll throw up the video with no audio of Sarah freaking out about the lizard. Maybe I'll do a voice. If I get a chance, I'm going to do a voiceover for it. Because
Oh,
that
damn
might
it. Yeah, just go ahead and put it up. It was a sad moment for me.
it
That's
was
fine.
great.
Whatever.
And I don't want to freak you out, but it's right behind you on the wall.
Bro, fuck
No,
you.
I'm just kidding. I'm
Yo,
just kidding.
that's
Sorry.
not even fucking funny.
I'm kidding.
That's
I'm kidding.
not even
I'm
funny.
sorry.
I
I'm
hate you
sorry.
so
I'm
fucking much.
sorry. Okay.
That's not funny. Did you see the look
Yeah,
of
the
terror in
look-
my
the
face?
look
Because
at-
I felt it.
that was incredible.
I hate you.
You can join our Facebook group where you can get advice and share stories, and that's facebook.com/groups/DKS podcast.
I'm ready to be done with this.
I know you are.
You just scared the shit out of me.
I'm
You
sorry.
can also follow us on TikTok on our personal TikToks. I'm at simply Sarah G _, and yours is Adam Heavitable.
Yes, at Adam Heavitable. And if you follow our Instagram at Dating Kinda Sucks Podcast. And finally, if you have any questions, you can email us at datingkindasuckspodcast@gmail.com. Right? Anything else that we have to promote or plug or anything?
No, not your Kickstarter anymore. So I think
No, we don't have to worry about my Kickstarter anymore. Thank you to those who did contribute, though. That was very helpful, and I appreciate you very much. And like I said, if you live in any of the towns that I mentioned or anywhere nearby over the next month or so, let me know, and we can meet up while I'm driving. We will be back in 2 weeks with a brand new episode.
Until next time.
Whether you're married or single or poly or ace, or hanging out with swingers back at your place, listen to us as we give no fucks on Tinder and Bumble and plenty of yucks, trying and having no luck, because we all know dating kinda sucks. Sarah and Adam are two of a kind. He says stupid shit and she doesn't mind. They're not doing this show to make any buck. Life as a chicken whose feathers they pluck. Why does it work? Well, here is the crux. They both know dating kinda sucks. Dating kinda sucks.